This is lesson 8.6, which is on inequalities. This table below shows some common verbal phrases and corresponding math inequality symbols. So we have the first one, it is less than or is fewer than. Second one is greater than or is more than. The third one, some keywords to look for are is less than or equal to, is no more than, or is at most. And the last one is greater than or equal to, is no less than, or at least. So we're going to look at some sentences and write an inequality for each sentence. An inequality has three parts. It starts with a variable, it has a symbol, and then it also has a number. So the DVD costs more than $15. Keyword is more than, which means greater than. So the DVD, we could say the D for DVD is greater than 15. A dog weighs less than 50 pounds, so the dog's weight, W, has to be smaller than 50 pounds. Emilio sold more than 40 magazines, so the number of magazines has to be more than 40, so bigger than 40. Gino sent less than 35 texts yesterday, so T for text messages, smaller than 35, so less than 35. You must be at least 18 years old to vote, so your age, A for age. If you look at the chart here, at least is a greater than or equal to 18. So the minimum you could be is 18, or you could be anything older than that. So now we're going to talk about graphing them. So A is bigger than 6. Well, my starting point is at 6, and I'm going to draw an open circle because 6 is not bigger than 6. That's not true. Okay, so we can't include 6. That's why it's a left open circle, but that's my starting point. And anything bigger than it is shading to the right. The second one, X is smaller than or equal to -1. So in this case, -1 is less than or equal to -1. That is true. So you're going to include that circle or that endpoint. So it's a filled in circle above -1 and pointing to the left because these are all the numbers that are smaller than or equal to -1. The next two, you're going to write an inequality for the graph. So my endpoint number is at 2. I use a variable X. You can choose whichever variable you want. It's pointing to the right, so I have to point my inequality symbol that way. So X represents any number that is bigger than 2, but not equal to 2 because it's an open dot. The second one, let's use a Y. My number is on -3. And it's filled in, but it can be anything bigger than or equal to -3. It's pointing to the right. So this little note here, when graphing inequalities, the open dot means the number is not included, so either less than or greater than, and the closed dot means it is included. So those are the ones with the underline, okay? Those can also be equal to. So here was a quick team huddle. Write an inequality for each sentence. So the lacrosse practice will be no more than 45 minutes. So the practice can be no more than 45. So if we go back to our chart on our notes, no more than is right here. So that's less than or equal to, which means I can not go over 45 minutes. I have to be 45 minutes or less. Mario is more than 60 inches tall, so Mario has to be more than 60. More than 8,000 fans attended the opening soccer game, so we can say F for fans has to be bigger than 8,000. Two inequalities, we need to graph them. So I'm going to put my target number in the middle, one number to the left, one number to the right. So this is going to be an open circle above -1 pointing to the left. And This one, 5, 6, and 4. A closed circle, I can include 5 and anything higher than 5. Your inequality for number 10 should be x is smaller than or equal to -2. And this one has an open circle above 5 and anything bigger, so x has to be bigger than 5. And our wrap-up question, explain how to tell the difference between graphing an inequality with a closed circle versus one with an open. So these two symbols are used for closed circles. This means you can include the number. And these two without the underline are open circles, and you cannot include these. So not included. And the last one, find the error. Alex is graphing an inequality P is smaller than 14. Okay, this mistake is this circle should be open on 14 because 14 is not big, less than 14. That is not true. So I can be anything smaller than 14, but 14 is my starting point. So it should be an open circle, still pointing to the left.